everyone, Paul here. And welcome to the May Contain Action podcast. Just a quick reminder, do you love coffee? Great. That has nothing to do with what I'm going to say. We're on Coffee, which is a subscription service that you can sign up for and support May Contain Action. That's our pod. That's ours. We have our whole family of shows on there. We're looking to add some stuff real soon, some special little tidbits and things like that, including early access to our brand new podcast called Obsessed, where we cover our recent favorites in gaming and tech across the tech verse. And PM schools us on everything blockchain and also developer stuff, which goes over
We're going to school.
my little head. Yeah, exactly.
Going to school. It's good though. You'll know in a few weeks though. You'll
Buckle
know.
up,
Exactly. Oh, dang. Keep it.
Class is in session.
On behalf of Trevor,
Look
PM,
who's blossoming.
and myself, we appreciate the support from all of you guys. Thank you so much. Consider heading over to KOFI and supporting us over there with your subscription. Love you guys. Let's get into the pod. It is episode 15 of the MCA podcast. And we have our Pick-a-Flick, which I was, just so our viewers know and our listeners, I was forced actually to knife point by PM's wife to select a Oscar-nominated movie.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Which, come to find out,
It's
they
the
had watched.
Oscars edition.
They had watched it a month prior. It's Oscars time. Oscars are coming up.
The Oscars.
Dude, so really quick fun fact about the Oscars. I love the Oscars. They're great. 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, I was getting ready to watch the Oscars. It's getting late. And Tears is like, I'm going to go to bed. I'm like, what do you mean you're going to go to bed? The Oscars are on. She's like, what are you talking about? It's just an award show. I'm like, honey, it's live. Okay. Anything can happen. Boom. That's the year Will Smith slaps Chris Rock across the face. Best Oscars ever.
Yeah.
And she was going to go to sleep. Oh, yeah.
Ha! Tirza.
Nice.
Dumb.
It's like
How dare
Maury,
you?
but with shiny statues and acting. Well, so just the shiny statues then, actually.
It's heated.
Yeah, it does. Anyway, welcome. I'm Paul. That's Trevor in the background. You heard him just now. Say hi, Trevor.
Sup.
Nicely
I'm not
done.
doing that
Every time.
Just this time.
I've taken over the intro. And then, of course, PM in the background there. Hello, PM.
Sup?
Behind the glass. Nice. We're killing it, dude.
Knew that was gonna happen.
So good. Yes, we got a Pick-a-Flick. And PM, why don't you tell us what the Pick-a-Flick was?
Yes. Do you want me to just go through the industry stats? Should we just, should
You
we
know
just
what,
go through
dude?
it?
Why not?
Should we just go through
Throw
it?
the name and go
Tell
through the
them.
industry stats.
Okay.
ahead, bro.
The flick was The Holdovers, which is Oscar nominated, which is the reason why we did this. It is. Let me find it here on the Pick-a-Flick. Should I just go into the industry stats? Should we just dive right into it? Let's just do it.
Crush
Yeah,
it.
The
Just hit 'em.
budget will surprise you.
Go down the list.
We were surprised by this. It was a $200,000 budget, which is what 15th of a
1/500th.
yeah.
1/500th.
Yeah.
Of an Emperor's
There you go.
New Groove.
Of an impersonation.
And so far the return on investment is up there with any AI tool right now. It's revenue of 37.9 million. If you needed to invest in anything,
well.
just invest in Paul Giamatti. It is nominated for Best Picture, Best Film Editing, Paul Giamatti for Best Actor, Divine Joy Randolph for Supporting Actress and Best Original Screenplay. Directed by Alexander Payne. He made Sideways in 2004, which I've never seen, but you made that note, so I'm going to put it there.
Love that.
It's also critically acclaimed and also was nominated for a bunch of awards. So it's Oscar. It's Oscar
I will
relevant.
take your word for it. Written by David Hemmingson, and Paul Giamatti plays Paul, which is fitting. Dominic Sessa plays Angus. Divine Joy Randolph plays Mary. Carrie Preston plays Miss Linda. Brady Hepner plays Teddy. That is the industry stats.
Miss
for it.
Lydia.
Yeah.
Miss Lydia.
Miss Lydia.
Miss Lydia. Yeah. No.
Miss Lydia.
Yeah. Lydia. Yeah. Nicely done, PM.
Beautiful.
No problem.
Nicely done.
Good run through of the stats.
I was
Guys,
excited for this one.
I had a realization. Oh, I was too, but I had a realization before we started this. We need a Pick-a-Flick jingle bad.
Oh.
A 3-person harmony Pick-a-Flick. You ready? I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Pick-a-Flick.
Pick-a-Flick.
Pick-a-Flick. Perfect.
Throw a little
And
auto
that's
tune
gonna
on
be in
that.
every episode forever, dude. That was actually not bad.
Come on.
Paul and I were terrible, but PM,
Yeah.
nice harmony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to
got
come
close
in
to the
low.
mic.
Brought it
Come
the
in
low
low.
end.
Yeah. You hear that?
Horny, horny. What is it? Horny DC. This
Really quick before
I will.
before we get into the movie, and this is the first time we've done a movie that like was released recently, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's going to be people listening to the show who actually probably might not have seen this
True.
and might are planning on to. So we're going to really try to like not just like give you the whole plot and just give you some nice pieces because
True.
instead of like just acting, we're not going to assume everyone's seen it. So there are going to be spoilers ahead. So just be aware of that, but nothing that will ruin the movie because it is a very high quality movie. And I know we haven't given ratings yet, but like, I thought it was great.
Mhm.
So we're just saying that. And if you would like to watch it, it is on Amazon Prime currently. And also the I don't know if you guys watched it on Amazon Prime. What do you guys watch?
I watched it
what
on
do you guys watch
Peacock.
on?
yeah, Peacock.
Peacock is it just on Peacock for
Yeah,
streaming?
we got
Yes.
we watched it on
Yeah.
Peacock
Okay.
because
So if you have Peacock,
the
I
NFL
don't.
playoff. They have like a promo thing.
Yeah. You're a
perfect.
Swiftie.
Well,
Yeah.
that worked out.
It's fine.
I'm not.
Yeah, you
but
can
thank
watch it on Peacock. It's just for free if you have that subscription, or on Amazon Prime or any of the other ones. It's like been greatly reduced. It was $20 to rent because it was like, really good, and now it's like $4. So if you want to watch it, those are great ways to do it, and it's a good movie to watch for streaming.
Yeah.
So that was my my disclaimer because I realized that we haven't done a movie like this yet. So
True. This will be different.
it'll
I'm
be
going to try
it's
to
be a fun
spoil
show
it.
though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
Not
just
like-
edit out.
Try
the
not to like
spoilers.
say everything that happens in the movie, but there's going to be a lot of scenes and stuff that we're going to talk about.
For sure. Okay. Want to hop into it? You want to get started with the ratings, Trev?
Let's just pop right in the categories. These we got to do guess the
Oh, yeah.
ratings. We don't have to, but we want to because this one's going to be good.
All right. Yeah.
This is our section of the show. This is guess the ratings, where we guess Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, and Letterboxd. Just a reminder: Rotten Tomatoes is out of 100, IMDb is out of 10,
Mhm.
and Letterboxd is out of 5. We do them in order from greatest to least. If you forget.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Rotten Tomatoes. We will start with PM. PM, you going to go first today. Rotten Tomatoes, what do you think they give this?
Should I just do Rotten Tomatoes or all three?
Do all three.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just prompting you to.
I'm going with 98% Rotten Tomatoes.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm going big dick
98?
swinging. Yeah, I'm going out there.
Jeez.
IMDb is 10, right?
Yeah,
I'm gonna go 9 out of 10, and then Letterboxd
Okay.
is 5. I'm gonna go 4.5 out of 5.
4.5 out of 5.
Jeez. Okay. I'm going to be a little more conservative on this one. I'm going to say 92 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, wow, so conservative.
Okay. Relax. 98. Goodness gracious. IMDb, they usually inflate their stuff. So I actually think 9 out of 10 is pretty good. That's probably actually kind of makes sense. Letterboxd, I'm going to give this one. Can you do like different decimals? Is it 3.5 or 4, or can I do like 3.7, 3.2?
No, you can do. It's point. It goes tenths of
okay.
a decimal. So 0.1, 0.2, 0.3.
I'm gonna go 3.7. Letterboxd.
3.7 on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mhm.
All right.
We got
And just so you guys know, the Rotten Tomatoes, we've been given one score. I think we've kind of found a good sweet spot where we like kind of average them together because it's that's also interesting. It makes it a little harder. But when a movie's like this, it's just probably good for both. It's not as hard. So it is a 97 from critics,
gosh.
and then 91 from the audience. So that's about a 94. That's a good score.
Yeah.
Yes.
Boys and girls.
Yeah, it is.
Interesting.
I
The
mean, it's no
critics
Toy
said
Story, but
more
it's
than
close.
the audience.
Critics really loved it. But
With
again,
Oscar
when
movies,
movies
Yeah.
It makes sense.
yeah, it's got Oscar awards, so that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Critics usually love those. And then also like anything that's like a unique kind of cinematography,
Mhm.
critics tend to like
Also true.
because it's very 70s, which is kind of the directors and the cinematographers thing. By the way, the cinematographer, we saw this as the credits were rolling at the beginning, and his name's like Eigil, Eigil.
Okay.
And we like I don't know where that's from. And I was like, and I was just looking at the cinematography. I'm like, yeah, this is definitely an Eigil did this. 100%. I was like, this is definitely a 1970s Eigel. I don't know why that name's just perfect for the guy who made this cinematography. It's 94 on Rotten Tomatoes. IMDb is an 8.0 exactly, which is very good, but like it's not in the upper echelon, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I thought it would be. I don't know. IMDb has turned into this thing where like the movies that are in the nines are going to be like the only movies in the nines. They're not going to make new ones. And you know what I mean? Like they're like on a pedestal now, and that list isn't going to change unless a movie is insane.
Okay.
Like Oppenheimer might have moved its way into that top 50, top 100, but like nothing else is going to. And it's going to be really hard to crack that list from moving forward. And that's kind of how they do it. It's like a rankings thing, as opposed to Letterboxd, which is crowdsourced.
Yes.
And that was a 4.2. Letterboxd loved this movie.
Wow.
Yeah, they loved it. The reviews are awesome. I read a bunch of them. I was like, these guys love this thing. Maybe it's because
these guys.
Maybe it's because of the tone of the movie is something that maybe the world needs right now. So
yeah,
I felt that way. I don't know if you guys did, but I was like, man, this is I needed this. This is yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I definitely did. I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely felt like it was a refreshing message. But I'll get into my specifics.
Yeah. Can't wait. Vivian Ward, opening scene. Interesting. It was interesting.
Yes.
I was interested. I'll hit you with mine. I gave it it's not a Vivian because it's not that type of movie. But if the goal at the beginning of the movie is to establish, and what is being established is different, I think every movie, like if you're watching an action movie, they want to create some sort of tension right away. You're like, oh, well, we're going, like, because that's kind of what action movies show.
Mm-hmm.
The Goonies, right? The Goonies with the chase at the beginning. You're like, oh, this is an adventure. We're gonna go on an adventure.
Oh yeah.
And here's the
adventure movie. Yeah.
So I feel like this one was like the way that they were just like showing all like kind of the not monotony, but the normal life.
Yeah.
And then they really wanted to show off the aesthetic, and I think they did that well. Like you knew what you're like. This is the 70s.
Exactly.
Everything's so 70s.
Yeah.
The music was perfect. Everything was like they just got. That's exactly what they were doing. Then like there was nothing like guessed. That was very meticulous there. So I gave it an 8 because I thought that was the goal. And they did a really good job of achieving that goal without doing anything crazy. We met a couple characters and we kind of got an idea of like Paul's a curmudgeon. Like that's pretty clear right away.
Mm-hmm.
You hate him immediately. I hated him. I was like, oh my God, I hate you so much. And but I love Paul Giamatti. So I was like, oh shit, he's doing a good job.
Yeah, he's acting well. I hate him. It's amazing.
What about you guys? What do you got on the first scene?
Yeah, I feel like I kind of agree with you. I think our scale, obviously, 1 to Vivian being like, this is what the movie is about. Here you go, right off the rip. This doesn't do that at all. It doesn't try to do that. It just tells you what the tone is with a lot of establishing shots. And it really takes you into the 70s. I mean, the whole first part of the intro is like this old stock footage of I don't know, was it Miramax or at least Universal or something like that? Well, of course it's Universal because or Comcast because it's on Peacock, but all the old like logos and stuff, and then the crackling, popping audio like it was actual film going over, which is really cool touch. So yeah, I think you're right. I'll give it probably an 8 as well. I think that's probably where it stands for me. It's not a Vivian because it doesn't tell you exactly what it's about, but you do meet a main character and you do get a feel for the movie being just 70s. And like it's a little sad because it's winter. So like it's like a little bit sad. And you're like, oh man, I don't know if I want to be there right now. Like that guy's struggling to shovel the sidewalk. It looks like he's having a hard time. So yeah. It's just my general feel.
Yeah, you can relate, dude. It was very northeastern winter.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Just everything looked cold. Even inside looked freezing.
Everything was cold. Yeah.
It looked very cold. Yeah. And it's technically Christmas time, right? So like this might be like this could. I think it's going to turn into a regular watch for Christmas for a lot of people, in my opinion. Even though it's not really about Christmas that much, the time is very much like that.
Yes,
so,
that's a good point. Like a Christmas movie.
I think that I think next year it's gonna be me showing my entire family the Holdovers. I think that's gonna be my present.
What a great present.
we're watching a movie and we're watching.
Yeah,
nachos.
really. Yeah. Ooh, what does PM think? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the same boat as you guys. I don't think it was
Okay.
a great opening scene, but I did think it set the tone for the type of movie it was going to be. Um, I kind of hate when people do this, like, oh, we're gonna make it 70s, but like keep it 4K HD, 120 hertz, like kind of thing. Like, come on, like, we don't need to play it
Yeah.
up. Like, I get it, but no, I mean, you like if any of you guys have watched Billions before, you would know
No.
Paul Giamatti's
Yeah.
character is the exact same as this. He's just this total asshole that is incredibly smarter than everybody else, and he knows it, and he just constantly flexes it. And I think that was right off the bat. Literally, it felt like his character from Billions when we first saw him. So, um, I think they did a good job setting the tone that he was kind of a dick. I think that they did a
Yeah.
good job with that, and they did a really, really good job with telling you this is supposed to be a 70s movie, but we're not going to make it 70s kind of thing. I just don't think it really set you up for what the actual movie was going to be about. So
True.
yeah, probably
True.
like in the six or seven range.
6 or 7 range. Okay.
Yeah, maybe I boosted it a little bit. I'm really interested in how they achieve that look, right? So like that's something that I'm like noticing more in movies.
Mhm.
So like maybe that's gonna when I notice cool stuff like, oh, they did that little detail to get this vibe. It's always gonna give me a little boop,
Yeah.
little boost up.
Yeah,
But,
when they go for something and they kind of do a good job with it. Yeah. Like,
yeah,
you could tell.
yeah, they did a good job. It's just nothing special. That at the end of the day, I think that we're just like, it was good.
Yeah.
It's good. I'm excited. And
Exactly.
then it was good. But it wasn't the best part of the movie, that's for sure.
No.
Ents Attack Isengard scenes. Now there are a couple good ones, and I hope
yeah.
really good ones.
There
that I was
are.
like, I freaking loved this. But Paul, would you like to lead us off on this one? Because I really want to know what you saw.
I mean, some of my favorite scenes had to do. Well, I mean, I liked actually whenever the kids interacted. Really, and I kept thinking to myself like, oh man, I think my in-laws would love this. Like, no, they would hate it because the kids are just like crass little a-holes. But it's like, yeah, that kind of checks out. Like, you kind of have this idealistic view of what these kids are going to be like, but they're really just like crass little kids, like just little idiots talk about random shit.
Yeah.
I actually just kind of liked whenever Angus, like, what's the word? Verbally destroyed whoever he was talking to. Like, he just kind of broke down. What was that one kid that he just picked, like, was a jerk and he just kind of picked on the whole time? Can't remember his name. Was it
Teddy?
Was it Teddy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. He was like his nemesis.
Yeah.
Dude, like that's what they were trying to get. Like
So
they're like friends though.
good.
They're always hanging out still, which is
Yeah,
weird.
they're like sharing a cigarette, but like also hate each other. And
Love
then,
hate.
Like, it was
Love hate.
that's
Yeah.
Like neither one of them
love
have a
right
lot of
there.
friends. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, it was real weird. But I would say my favorite scene in the whole movie is kind of toss up. I don't know. I think I really enjoyed when they went to the well, not to spoil anything. I don't want to spoil it.
There we go.
Yeah,
I had to
spoilers.
say it.
When they went to go see Angus's father, that was like a really emotional scene, and it felt like a climax of that character's arc. Like, he was like finally doing the thing that he said he was wanted to do in like maybe the second scene of the movie.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to go to Boston, and he finally goes to Boston. We find out why he wants to go to Boston, sees his dad, and that whole scene was just very, very emotional. So I really liked that one. It wasn't like a fun scene, but I thought it was a really good one and enjoyed it a lot. Because it just felt like this climax that was just this big letdown, right?
Yeah. Well acted too, by the way.
Oh my
like,
gosh!
The kid, I've never seen this kid in a movie.
That's what I'm saying. I liked everything he was in. Yeah, he was just had such
really
charisma.
good. He did a good job.
He did. He really did. That, and actually, I think my second favorite scene, if anything, was actually when Park wets the bed. I thought that was something. I just was like endearing. It was endearing, and I just wanted to like hug that kid.
He was taking care of a kid that's in the same situation as him.
Yeah,
that he knows.
Yeah,
he's not a bad kid. Like, it's so funny. The whole time I was like, Teddy's the only bad kid. Teddy sucks. I hate Teddy
He sucks so
so
much.
much.
He sucks so much.
But I never hate Dominic. I immediately was like, not Dominic, sorry, Angus. I was like, Angus is misunderstood. Like I knew immediately. Immediately. I'm like, he's got shit going on, 100%.
Oh
Like
yeah.
these are all he's acting out, but he's not stupid and he's really smart. But I love that scene too, because like, you know, I don't know. To be honest, I was like, I've been the kid crying.
Yeah.
That's me. I need an Angus to be like, you're good, dude. We can burn the sheets together. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, man.
That's really cool.
It is. I love
We
that.
needed that. We needed that. You never see that in Mighty Ducks. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Mighty Ducks 3.
Thanks, Scooter.
No, not at all. Thanks, Scooter. I'm glad you liked that video. If you haven't seen the short that we made, that's one of my favorite ones I've ever made. So go look at that.
It's really good.
Really well made. Whoever edited
I
that.
do say
did a
so
good job.
myself. Yeah.
PM scenes. What you
I
got?
have 3
Ooh.
that really stood out. I mean, again, spoilers. If you haven't watched it, stop listening now because I'm probably going to spoil the end and I'm probably going to spoil a couple big scenes. So the first one, I think by far, was Paul Giamatti taking the bullet for the kid at the end. Where you know the kid kind of ran off to go see his dad, right? And instead of Paul being like, yeah, you're right, that you know the kid did it. That was kind of like the full circle moment, right? Where he kind of sat there and he was like, you know what, I'm gonna go write my little book, and I'm done with this place, right? And then he told his boss to basically go fuck himself, stole the bottle of whiskey that was on his desk and just drank and drive, which is ridiculous. But anyways,
Yeah.
70s, am I
He
right?
did a lot
So
of that.
like, yeah, I
The
think that one was good. Obviously, another good one was when he ran into his old friend on the ice rink. And he had to lie about where he worked in front of the kid.
Yeah.
And that was like the first time that his armor, this like ironclad like armor, was broken. Where like he was this educational genius to all these kids and everyone else was stupid and they weren't on his level. And that was the first time that you saw him be like, oh, I'm actually not. And I need to, like, I'm a dropout and I need to lie about this kind of thing. And you know, that's when he first kind of had the big crack in the armor. And that was definitely a big scene of that. And then another really funny one was just when Dominic ran and Paul Giamatti had to run him down and chase him. Just seeing Paul Giamatti run is hilarious. And then he jumps on the gymnastics thing and just snaps his arm. Like that. It's just
That
so funny, just so
scream
random.
was awesome. Like that guttural. We were like, is he kidding? Like, Kate was like, Jesus, is this a joke? And I'm like, no, that's a real thing. That's crazy. And he just flips onto nothing.
I wonder if he actually did it. Like
actually hurt himself.
It seems too perfect for the movie, but yeah, that was
maybe.
Really
all the best movies have that stuff.
That's
but
true.
When he just made him run too, he's just like, by the way, that kid just starts running all the time, which I love. Like he's like, all right, bye, and just takes off running. And I'm like, that's such a kid thing to do. He does it so well though. I mean, he's gangly and funny and whatever, but like it's not super comical. Like he's not trying to be super funny.
Yeah.
It's just like a quirk, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And I loved it, but I love that scene.
Like when he wants to go to
that's the third one, right?
The party.
By the way.
Oh, sorry.
What's up?
Go ahead. No, you go. Go ahead. You're talking about the movie.
I was going to say, when he wants to go to the party and he's like eating the brownie and he's like, no, we're not going to the party. I can't remember what he says, but he basically says the equivalent like, I hate you, and like throws the brownie and then runs away. Like,
yeah,
just a classic little kid thing to do.
This place is a prison. Yeah.
I could see
Kate
Will
goes,
Ferrell
did he
doing
just
that.
throw the brownie? That's what he said.
Yeah. Throws the brownie.
And Mary just doesn't care,
It's
which
perfect.
she doesn't care about it. Like she's awesome too, which we should. I'd like to talk about her a little bit too when we get to our characters. Was that your third one, by the way, PM?
Yeah.
Or do you have another?
Those were
one?
all 3.
That was it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Mine. Though a lot of these, two of the 3 overlap with you guys, but yeah, the arm dislocation scene, and then I would extend that all the way to the hospital.
Okay.
Because that's our first, like, his armor breaks, and then a little bit, and he's like really vulnerable, and but then he goes into his like sociopath mode, which where he's just so good at lying. But like Paul Giamatti's like it's like he is like disgusted at first, and then he's like, oh, I can't do that. That was really good. This kid's good. This kid's like really good.
He almost like sees it
like
in
that.
himself.
I can do something with that.
Yeah.
Like, that was like the wheels were turning, right? If he was like, I'm gonna get mad at him, and then at first he was like, maybe there's something here for like helping the kid learn, right? Use your powers for good, basically. Which I thought that was the first time when they kind of they started to become friends, which I loved how like real it was. Like there was never like, oh, I hate you, and then like, no, I don't. We're friends now. Like that, it was like it slowly happened, and it just barely a little bit at a time, and just little gestures. The whole movie. That's what the writing was just incredibly well done. I was like, this is how it happens. This is how people become friends through shared experience. This is how it happens. This is literally a perfect example of that. But the one big one, and this was maybe just like a more of a like nice dude when he's in the basement at the party and they're like finger painting him and the niece Claire, I think her name was, and she's like, "You just try to look down my shirt?" And he's like, "No, yes,
yeah.
Like,
Elise. Yeah,
Elise." And then she like gets close to him so he can look down her shirt to kiss him. Like she was like trying to let him see.
I was like, dude,
which I was like,
it's like 70s, dude, crazy.
I was like 70s, bro. These guys are hippies. I love it. But like you can tell, he's just like no girl has ever shown him any sort of attention, and he was just being himself.
Although,
and I don't know. It's just like
you wouldn't know it because I feel like this kid gets like hit on by every woman in the whole movie. Like every woman is like, hey, look at this kid.
But he's always like, yeah, and he's always making little wisecracks. Like there was a time with the prostitute. Coming on, and he just like, it's cool, I can wait, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But when it was directed at him is when it was weird. He got awkward because he like that's just like a defense thing, right? Just being like funny and self-deprecating. So I like the girl kissing because it looked like the thing that he's obviously kind of scared of, and he uses things as like, tries to downplay things and like make fun of it because he's actually really wants it. That he actually gets something he wants just for a minute. Then that gets, we won't spoil this, but then that gets torn apart. So, like, I'll actually extend the scheme when they're leaving and they're like with Mary. So they're comforting Mary and they're talking to each other with Mary in between them.
Yeah.
And he's like, let's go home. Let's get Mary home. Make sure she's okay. And let's come back.
Yeah.
I was really hitting it off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I would have done that. If I were 17, I'm like, Mary, I'm so sorry you're upset, but I need to go make out with that chick.
Yeah, exactly. Like I really need to go make out with her.
I'm too young to care too much. I'm so sorry.
Exactly. But you know what the cool part about Mary, and we'll go into, spoiler alert, one of my favorite characters, is because she's so real. She's like, yeah, like, don't pity me. Let this kid go have a good time. Like, I don't need him to pity me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, go. That's fine. And he's like, see?
That's fine.
She's cool with it.
She's the best.
Yeah. Hey guys, it's Action Jackson. Just wanted to let you know we've officially launched Ko-fi. That's K-O-F-I, not like a coffee. But subscriptions for Ko-fi. If you'd like to support the May Contain Action Pod and the rest of the MCA family of shows, this is the way to do it. Choose a level you're most comfortable with and receive a ton of new perks, like early access to our new bonus show, Obsessed, where we cover our recent favorites in gaming and tech, access to the watch party editions of the show, voting on the community movie picks, and much more. On behalf of Trevor, PM, and I, we appreciate the support from the bottom of our hearts and will continue to give you the best shows that we can. Click the link in the description and become a friend of the pod.
I mean, we're on characters.
All right.
Favorite characters.
Favorite characters.
Get into it, man. Tell us about Mary.
Frickin' Mary.
Tell us something about Mary.
Something about Mary. So I love Mary. Mary Lamb. I mean, the story is great. I felt a connection with the movie for a couple of reasons. One is because it's a private school, which I went to. It is like kind of it's religious based, it seems. I'm not sure.
It's like a Catholic boarding school. It's supposed to be.
Yeah. Oh, it is supposed to be Catholic. Okay. It felt like, I couldn't quite tell. But I resonate with that. I went to a Christian school. and I was also like one of 2 black kids in my grade. So it was like basically I was the guy in the beginning scene in the choir who was like singing in the choir. Like that was me. I was that one black kid. And also, got to just real quick side note for that music teacher, how nice was that chorus teacher?
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
have you ever
So nice.
had a nice chorus or music teacher in your life? I haven't.
I think I have.
Yeah, they're usually like drill sergeants.
Yeah, they're always like yelling at you, and he was like, "That was
Well,
really nice.
Yeah.
my
Great
dad
job
was
on
like
the
my
T,
music
everybody."
teacher. I think that's the
Oh,
issue
well, okay. Well,
because
there you
he's
go.
a very well respected musician. So yeah, there's probably a difference there.
Yeah, that's probably a little bit different. But yeah, usually I feel like chorus teachers are just like a-holes. They're just so mean a lot of times. And he was just lovely. Anyway, beside the point. Mary was great. I think she was one of the more complex characters because I felt myself constantly being like, what is she thinking? What is she thinking this moment? Like, how is she coping with this? How is she dealing with this?
Mhm.
And then hearing about her story about her husband who was killed in like the most 70s, or I guess at that point it was probably 60s, or late 50s, way possible of just like a on the job accident
Mhm.
type of a thing. And then having, I mean, knowing the plight of an African American at that time of like you pour everything into your kids because you want them to have a chance. You never had a chance. You want them to have a chance. She pours everything. She changes her job. She does all this stuff, and he dies. He's and they allude to it too, which I think is interesting. That Lamb is the only one in recent memory who graduated from Barton to go to war, who went to Vietnam. Like none of these other kids
Yeah.
seemingly went to Vietnam, but he did. And I just thought it was undertones. It was stated, it was on purpose, it was intentional, and I really liked the story of how they made you feel obviously very bad for her, but also you're rooting for her, and also she's like the strongest person in the movie.
Oh my God.
So
She's incredible.
it was fun to see her just interact. She was also like semi-omniscient. It seemed like she knew everything that was happening in the school at any given time. Like if anyone said anything, you're like, that little shit said this. Like she just like
notices everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was just fun to watch and to listen to. And also, speaking of listen, I'll wrap this up by saying her accent was incredible.
Mhm.
It was so like Boston, but like I don't even know. I'm not from Boston, so I don't know specifically, but it was like this broken Boston accent. It was great. I loved listening to her.
Dude, she so Divine Joy Rudolph.
Mm-hmm.
Randolph?
Randolph.
Rudolph?
Rudolph.
She's incredible. She's been incredible in everything she does. But like, yeah, I fully agree with you on like her just how complex everything is and
Yeah.
how understated her acting is to show it. I don't know. It was just like she just looked like she's like, I'm going through a ton of stuff, but I also know that this is just my plight and people like me's plight to an
Mhm.
extent just by default. And the other stuff is just extra.
Mhm.
And so I have no choice but to just, soldier on.
Yes.
And she does. And she just puts on, I'm super strong. And that obviously that story kind of plays out and she's obviously a human being. So there are points, but even then,
Mhm.
even then I'm like, still think you're the strongest.
Yeah. Yes.
You're your weakest. You're going to be in this whole movie, and you're still the strongest person in that room.
Mhm.
So yeah, just add to your notes on her. She's so good. She's so good.
Loved it. Loved her.
PM, what do you got?
I went with Paul. I know that sounds boring,
Thanks, dude.
but I just like Paul Giamatti. I just think he's a really good actor.
Oh, okay.
And he just
I love
Oh
Paul
yeah,
Giamatti
sorry,
too.
not Paul Action Jackson, but Paul Giamatti. I don't know. I mean, I just think this was there's certain roles in movies that are perfectly casted for actors, and I think this is one of them. He did an incredible job on it. We were talking pre-show that I think we all kind of think that Cillian Murphy is actually how you say
There
it.
it is.
My wife told me that, but is probably going to win it
okay,
for
that's better.
So did
Oppenheimer.
mine.
But yeah, if he didn't win it, Paul Giamatti deserves it just because I think he's an incredible actor. But this every time he spoke, I was like, yeah, like I like this is the best actor here. compared to everybody else. So I loved his character. I thought you can tell from the beginning he was an asshole, and he did a great job with it. And then he did a great job with
Mm-hmm.
opening up and not being an asshole, and being sensitive. And he had moments when he was like, you could almost, like at dinners, you can almost kind of feel the moment crack, and then he would snap back into being an asshole by telling them to like get their shit together, right?
Yeah.
Like slap the table and yell and stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. I just think he did a really good job with it, and I feel like Paul is probably my favorite character.
Yeah, there's a lot to like about Paul. A lot to like. I mean, I think that to your point, he was a huge a-hole, but also you saw like I thought really interesting like moments of like gentlemanly. Like he's
Mhm.
very much
Yeah.
a gentleman. Like when he snaps on the kids, like you have no idea what that woman's been through. Like that
Yeah.
felt really genuine.
Yeah.
Like he was in pain with her, like understood that. And then even the little thing where they are at dinner, or I guess it's technically just dessert, and Mary arrives and he's like, stand up. He's like, stand up. He's like, yes, you brute. You
He
bore.
goes, you bore?
Yeah.
You
You
cretin?
cretin, yeah.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, he has
Great
little
co-
like
great.
these moments of like, oh yeah, like he gets
No,
it. He's
like
just like
the
mad,
the
sad.
Christmas
Yeah,
gift
he gets it.
scene, and like he gives them both the
Yeah.
books that like he hoards, and then she's like, "Oh yeah," and he goes, "Fine," and then like he pulls out the alcohol and gives it to her, and she's like, "Yes, like thank you." Like I just love that he
Yeah.
like let off with like everyone's gonna get educated, then he knew in the back of the head all she cared about was the alcohol.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah.
thought, yeah, I thought that was really good. I decided he did a really good job, and we'll get into this with the next quote one, but the ending scene where he walks out with the kid and he points and he goes, "It's this eye," and then like walks away. Like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
Dude.
that like it just like the way he did it, I was just like, damn, that was good. Like that was just really
Mhm.
good.
Perfect thing to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the kid's like, so what happened though? Like, that gives me nothing. So, which is funny because I was just thinking from a 17-year-old, like, he didn't tell him, like, right? But he's gonna find out in a
Yeah.
moment. I love Paul Giamatti. I love him in everything he's been in. He was on a podcast. So he was on Smartless recently where they all interviewed him, and Jason Bateman was just fangirling. Big
Oh,
time.
really?
And you could hear him, like, how humble he is. He was like super taken aback that Jason Bateman like loves him.
He seems like
He's
an
like, dude,
actor's
he goes,
actor. Like,
he's an actor's
yeah.
actor.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
he is. He literally said that. He's like, you're an actor's actor, bro. We all like look up
Oh, he
to you.
did? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
You're amazing. They're like, you've won like so many Academy Awards. Like, no, I've only been nominated. I never won. They're like, really?
Yeah.
No way. But he's been nominated like 8
I think
times.
that changes.
and he
I
hasn't won.
think
Wow.
he,
It's never a big movie.
He gets the Leonardo DiCaprio treatment here soon, where he might not be nominated for the movie.
The crazy thing about Leo, though,
but it'll happen.
the crazy thing about Leo, though, Leo was missing and he was in blockbusters every time.
Yeah.
Like huge movies, right?
Mhm.
Paul's always like the lead in like smaller budget movies that are sensational and critically acclaimed, but they're not
True.
the most well known, right? And that's what sinks him every time, which sucks. The best chance he had, I think it was Cinderella Man Best Supporting. I think that's what the chance he had, and that was the closest. He's like, I thought I had that one, right? Because that was a big movie. But yeah, no, he just hasn't got one. I really do hope he gets a shot because he was great. And we talked about what they were nominated for. Mine though, it's funny. We're gonna do the trifecta because Angus is mine. Because Angus, I identify a lot with like the awkwardness, and he's very anxious, and he does things because he's anxious,
Mhm.
and he doesn't like to be in certain. He gets uncomfortable in situations, so he's developed all this stuff he does, right? And I was like, I do so many of these things. Because I'm just not as comfortable.
He's relatable.
Like he's not comfortable talking about his life at
Mhm.
all because he's embarrassed. It's embarrassing, and he's upset, and he feels forgotten and that nobody cares. So like, why are you going to talk to anybody? Not that I felt those exact things, but like just the like I need to figure this out for myself thing. Like
Mhm.
sometimes I get to go there. So I saw that in him immediately, and then his little quirks, like, you know, how he like the way his cadence of how he talks, and how he's kind of goofy and like nods his head, bobs his head all the time. And then his one-liners just phenomenal. He's got a couple where I'm pretty sure all of the quotes I have are from him. But then I also have one honorable mention, Alex, the little kid, the youngest kid, the white kid, the Mormon
yes.
kid.
Yep.
Okay, so when he breaks and like tattles, which I was like, I go, oh, come on, dude.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be him. And then like when the idiot, what's his name? Teddy throws his mitten into the water.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? He could not wrap his head around someone who could be that mean to him. Like, he was like,
Yes.
really? Like, this is real? Like,
Mhm.
he's like, yeah, Teddy sucks.
And I feel like we've all had that moment.
That
Like, you can't believe that
like,
someone
oh my
was
God,
that mean
like,
to you. Yeah.
Yeah. I have to stand up for myself now. And then there was a point where it zoomed in on his face, and I turned to Kate. I go, that is the most bullyable kid I've ever seen. He has bully me written all over his forehead. He's like tiny. He's freckled.
Yeah.
He just looks like he's made of goo. Like, you'd blow on him, he'd fall over. I'm like, oh. And so and then I looked at her and she goes, could there be anyone better cast? I'm like, no, he's great. That's perfect.
Yeah,
He's the perfect kid for this. Someone protect him.
Please.
And he things work out. But Alex, yeah, dude, I was like, that kid's he's just waiting to be bullied, man. And then immediately he's bullied.
That reminds me of
which is sad, but was also kind of funny.
That reminded me of a scene that I
All right.
that I enjoyed where Paul Giamatti found out that Angus was taking antidepressants, and it was the same one that Paul was taking, I believe.
Yeah.
And it was like, that was a moment where they kind of had a connection. He's like, oh, okay, well, I see it now, kind of thing.
Yeah.
That one, and
yeah.
then sorry, like real quick, because we were talking about what's her name, when the final meeting has happened and she walks over to Angus sitting and she just sticks her hand out, and like he just like sits there and just holds it because like he knows he's in trouble, and she can like sense it without even saying anything.
Yeah.
Like, it was a true mother, like she was waiting to be a mother again, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yes.
Mary. God,
Yeah.
Mary. We need more Marys.
Freaking killed it.
As many Marys in the world as we can.
My gosh.
She's amazing. Well, best quotes. We got some good ones.
Best quotes, man.
If you don't mind, I would like to start off this one because you guys have started off the last one.
Yeah, go for it.
I have 3.
Okay.
I have 3. Actually, 2 of them are Angus, and 1 is Paul.
Okay.
So first, I have, do you try to look down my shirt? No. Yes. That perfectly delivered. I'm like, and I would also try to diffuse the situation that way. I would try to be funny. I would do that. I'd be like, no. Yeah, sorry. Like, and chuckle and try to be like, don't punch me. Right.
Yeah.
Do you like me? And then it worked out. Right. That's exactly how I seduced Kate. Not that exact thing, but like being a goofy idiot. Like, can I kiss you? Like, that happened. So that's a story for another time.
That's so great.
And then, this is early. And when he goes, they have the aforementioned fight that the kid tattles on, and he's like, okay, we're gonna be doing this, and he goes into like drill instructor mode. He's like, okay, now we're gonna do this and this, and he goes, and I thought all the Nazis were hiding in Argentina. I loved it.
That was really good. Yeah.
Very well delivered, not like looking at the floor and just like under his breath, but obviously really loud.
Yes.
And then when he's leaving the room to the headmaster, who the headmaster sucks.
Yeah.
Let's just,
yes.
The guy headmaster sucks.
Oh yeah.
He has everything that's wrong with everything. He goes, you are the human. He goes, and now it's clear. He goes, I've known something about you for a long time, and now it's very clear. You are the human embodiment of penis cancer. And then he just walks out. I'm like, testicular cancer? What is penis cancer?
Penis cancer.
But nice job, Paul. You got him. And by the way, just really quickly, some context for you. You mentioned earlier about when he took the bottle of Louis the 13th. By the way, Louis the 13th, if you want to buy a bottle of that, it's like 10 grand.
Yeah. Really? I didn't know
today,
that.
Yes. If you want to buy a shot, so if you're at a bar, a swanky bar that has a bottle of Louis, if you want to buy a shot, it's like $350 to $400 a piece.
Oh my goodness. What is it? A cognac?
So yeah, so that's because he got it from the donors, and obviously we know why he hates rich people. Because of we know why. He just doesn't like them. Yeah, and he doesn't like that his headmaster is just a ass kisser of rich people. He takes the bottle and he gets a drink everywhere. They want us to know that too, that he drinks.
Yeah,
like a lot. And he swigs it and spits it out. It's a gesture that like, I don't need this. This is more of a fuck you situation.
Yes. Okay.
And that's why he spits it.
Mm-hmm. That's what it felt like.
Because he knows how expensive it is. Because he's a whiskey drinker. He knows exactly how much that he knows all about that bottle. And he's like, you know what? Screw you, dude. And he takes a swig and spits it out as he leaves. So like that's kind of like he knows how crazy expensive and how big of a deal that is.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't care. I don't care anymore. I'm not attached to this anymore. And that was kind of his like that's what I got. Like, that's the feeling I got.
That's really cool.
Very final.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I love that. And now he's got a full bottle of Louis too. He's gonna drink it. Just not the first one.
Oh my gosh.
He should drink it.
Real quick, I just looked
I don't care
up,
if you're an alcoholic or not, dude. That's Louis the 13th.
I just looked up the
Drink
drink on a whiskeycaviar.com. It's $13,000 is this particular one.
Yeah.
It has one it's on sale, by the way. It was 15,000. So it's pretty good.
Inflation.
And there's yeah, really. There's one review. It's 5 stars. And it says so good. That's it.
Yeah.
So good.
Louis is insane. It's insanely expensive. But
Let me review this. It's so good.
He was probably
Anyway,
shit-faced
sorry.
on it too.
do you know why I know
Yeah,
I did
really.
that, by the way?
What?
I had a teammate buy everybody a shot once.
Oh, really? Wow.
How many
He
people
was
are on a
really,
baseball
really
team?
rich. Not me. Not the whole
Okay.
team. Like he was out with like 5 or 6 guys. And he's like, dude, and a couple of them were rookies, and they told me that. I said, dude, you got me a shot of Louis. I was like, no way.
Wow.
Like, yeah, it is crazy.
Damn, I hope it was
It's
good.
crazy. He goes, and I don't really remember it tasting it, so that's not good. I'm like, dude, you did it. You got the story. That's what it's for. That's literally why that thing exists.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah. So then that's how I know.
All right, I had
What about you guys?
a couple quotes.
Did I take them all? He's got
No. I only got 2. I got a couple. They're not great.
Okay.
They're not long. All right. I think my favorite quote, I got 2. They're really good. My favorite short one is from Danny. We haven't really talked about Danny. Danny is the custodian that's there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, no.
And
Danny's great too.
And it's after he dislocates his arm and he comes into the cafeteria. He's like, did you guys know that someone like threw up in the gymnasium? Like, and then that whole scene, like, oh no, I will get right on it. And then Mary is like, you did not just do that. And then he comes over, Danny. The best part, then he comes over with the mop and the bucket, and he puts it right at Angus's feet. He's like, he says something to the effect of like, you must be out your mind. Like,
just walks away.
must be
Danny
out
was
your mind.
great,
So
man.
good.
He was
Oh my
also
God.
awesome.
Like, I am not cleaning that up. Like, you must be out of your mind. It just is like the audacity for him to vomit and leave it. It's so good. All right, so that's my one.
Yeah, they left in a hurry, but yeah, he didn't go back and
For
clean it
sure,
up.
yeah. All right, and then Paul, my favorite, my favorite quote of the whole movie was hit me like a ton of bricks for some reason. Paul says in the museum when he's with Angus, he says, "There's nothing new in human experience, Mr. Tully. Each generation thinks it invented debauchery or suffering or rebellion, but man's every impulse and appetite, from disgusting to sublime, is on display right here all around you." And I just that hit. I was like, each generation thinks it invented debauchery or suffering or rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
It is. I was like, dang, that's so true. I don't know why that just hit me so hard. Of just like, because I feel like I always hear, it didn't used to be like that when I was young, or oh my gosh, the kids nowadays, and blah 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 blah. And no, it's been like that since Rome. Before Rome, like, we have been this quote unquote bad or rebellious or whatever. So I loved that quote. And
Good one.
Yeah,
that is a great one. There's some deep.
Those are my 2.
Deep cuts.
I know. I had to sit on that one for a minute.
No, you do, because that's also the one I went with too. Like the main
It
one.
is?
Yeah, when they're
Oh.
because they're looking at the
shit.
dolls. I think it was the manicures of like what is it? The figures of like 2 of them having sex, right? And then he was kind of like
on the
talking
vase.
about that. Yeah, in the vase.
Yeah.
And pretty much just lays out this whole thing that we've never changed like throughout our entire lives. Like you mentioned, like we all think this generation is suffering because of technology, and it used to never be like that. Oh, well, it used to be like that for many different reasons, and so on and so forth. And yeah, so that one stood out. And then the one I mentioned earlier, the like it's not really a quote that's quotable, but just the fact that it's this eye and like he just points at it and just walks away. I thought
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
was the final moment of him like completely cracking, and
Mm-hmm.
that stood out a lot.
Yeah.
That was the moment where he looked at Angus and he was like, yeah, I'm a fraud. I'm packing it up, kind of thing. And you
Yeah.
know, had some self insight to realize he's not this wonder kid genius, and moved on from there. So but yeah, the one that you mentioned, Paul, that was the one I had. That
Yeah.
was big. So
Sorry.
no, you're
Sorry. I
good.
feel
I
like I
mean,
stole it
I
from
think
you.
it was the best thing he said.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. True.
Mary has a little half one of those that was pretty profound to me that I think went under the radar just to toss it on the old fire.
Mm-hmm.
When he's like, "Oh, I want to write a monograph, and I want to go to Carthage and write a monograph." And he goes, "Do you know what a monograph is?" He goes, "I don't know what a monograph is, but why not and he goes, "Why not a book?" He goes, "I don't know if I have enough for a book." She goes, "Man, you can't even have a full dream, can you?" I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
oh,"
Yeah.
and he was like, "No, I can't." And like, just like, he's like, "Yeah, no, that's normal, right?" And she's like, "No," basically, like, "Dude,
Yes.
you're okay. You can do it if you want." And he's like, yeah, that was like one of the things where he's like, "Huh." Kind of like when
Yeah.
whenever Lydia was nice to him, he was always like, "Huh, people are nice to me. This is
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, that's right.
I like this." Like, right? So, and you could just see it. And of course, he's a great
Yeah.
actor, so you could just get it. Dude, it was so
Yeah.
good. I added a new one in here, and
Mhm.
I best shot. I thought that would be an interesting one to throw,
Sure.
especially when a movie gets like a Academy Award for editing. So,
Oh,
but I always like to pay attention to cinematography. It's kind of like one of my nice things. And there was a couple cool ones, like kind of like how we talked about the dolly zoom from like Lord of the Rings, right?
mhm.
Like that's an iconic shot for me. Like the way that was shot was done well. There's a lot of them, but the one that got me in this movie, and it was actually kind of a funny one because it was very 70s too, is when he's searching for Angus on Christmas morning. He's like, "Where the hell is this kid?" And he goes outside. He's like, "Angus!" The way he
Yes.
yells Angus
Yeah.
is funny. And then the super zoom out,
Yes.
like the mega zoom out, like it was, and then you just see everything is just cold as hell. And it's comical, but like the way he yells and then the zoom, I was like, that was a good shot. That was a really good shot. That amused the hell out of me. And I loved it. And then of course that scene just is awesome after that. But is there anything like you guys noticed was shot well? Because like you mentioned, there's like a lot of establishing shots. There's nothing crazy. It's
Mhm.
mostly aesthetic. But was there any like a cool shot? You're like, oh, that was interesting.
You go ahead, PM. I feel like I stole your quote,
Either
so
one.
you go.
Either one.
No,
You go
I'm
Anyone want
ahead.
it? Who
blanking.
wants it? Who wants
I'm
it? Who wants
blanking
it?
on how it happened. But there was a close up of Paul Giamatti's face, and he was like mortified, and it's what they used for like the trailer thumbnail.
Yes.
I'm blanking on what exactly went onto it, but
It's
like,
when he flips.
yes, exactly, and
Yeah,
he
when he
like,
flips over and dislocates his shoulder.
We hear the
yeah,
scream, but we haven't seen him
that's
yet.
exactly
And
what
then
it
it goes
is.
to his
Like,
face and
I
zooms
thought that
way
was
in on him.
perfect. I thought that was such a good shot because like you knew exactly what happened just by his facial expression. Because Paul Giamatti, like no one else could make that face that he made with like these big old pug eyes, and like you just
Yeah.
knew something went wrong.
Yeah, the pug eyes with the lazy
Well,
eye,
Yeah,
dude, is
his
perfect.
lazy eye's crazy. What I thought was interesting about that shot, at least how I picked up on it, was that when he did the flip and went over and made that big boom and everything, he was kind of flopping his arm around. But I actually thought he was kidding. I thought he was making it
I
up.
thought it was too.
And so what I feel like you see in Paul Giamatti's face is him not believing. No, my God, something
And then
happened.
realizing.
Like that was a really good, I mean, acting wise, his face like portrayed all of those emotions. At least I had those same thoughts. I thought it was good. I agree. That face was great.
Is that the one you had?
I did like that one a lot. I will say my favorite shot is I did like the zoom out Angus because it just like this snowy wasteland. But I liked
As he yells Angus and it zooms while he's yelling it. It's just
yes,
great.
it's good.
Good.
I loved Angus and Mary when they held hands. I agree. That was a really powerful image for the whole movie. Because I don't know, I'm very much like a physical touch person. Like I love into hugging and handshakes, all that kind of stuff. So when I see it finally happen for two characters that really don't know how to express themselves and don't like physical contact, it is just like a breaking down of a really big wall. And so I thought that was a really cool.
It was, yeah, very powerful. A lot of powerful stuff. But I like that 2K was like, why is she there? I'm like, because they're friends. She's supporting a friend, and like,
Yeah.
it's everyone knows that. And Lydia also very, very obviously very dialed into this stuff because she went and got her.
Yeah.
Which,
Yes.
again, no one noticed.
That was
really
a good
that.
point. I
But
didn't realize
Lydia's she knows what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she sees it. So she saw how they like got close together and stuff, and they were all at her party, which was I'm sure that was random for her. She's like, who are you bringing? You're bringing a kid and Mary?
Yeah.
You're friends with Mary? Like,
yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was great too, man. That was, and it was also well shot. They centered him up. They like gave it a really, I don't know. It was a good touching feel.
Yes.
So one other last one, because another one that should go into the Academy Award, and then I added something at the very end. I don't know if you can see in the forum, just really quickly. We can guess if one of the 5 nominees, if it's going to win any of them, right? So
yeah.
But this is the peak. So we'll just talk about the 3 main characters. For what we know about them and what they've been in, just off the top of your head, is this the best performance of any of the 3, or do you think that any of them have done anything better, or maybe even just as good? Paul?
I feel like I can't. I know that Paul Giamatti is a good actor. Like I can imagine him in different roles. I can't imagine specific ones, but he's, like you said, or like I guess someone else said, he's an actor's actor. So I could totally see that. I don't know that this is his best, but man, was it good. He sold me on this character. Like, I think that this is Paul Giamatti's actual personality. Like, that's how good his acting was. I don't know enough of their work to really say
about the work.
Yeah.
I agree, dude. I agree with that too. I would say, in my opinion, it might be the best, just because he got paired with that writing.
True.
So the writing was really good too, and then he did a great performance. I just don't think, maybe, like, for example, Billions isn't written this well. Billions is good.
The
Billions
first
is
season
not
of
written
Billions
like this. So like,
I will say that the first season is incredible.
Billions. I've never even
it
heard
is
of
incredible,
this.
but like, again, depth.
Yeah.
Like, they have depth of characters, but like that shows not for showing the amount of depth. It's not the same theme, right? Like, this is really subtle acting is needed, and he shined. And I almost say the same thing about Divine, because she's great. What else is she in? Is she in Priscilla? Is that her?
I don't know.
I think it is. I think she has an Academy
Award.
She
does
for a leading role.
Really?
So
Priscilla movie.
yeah, she's really good, man. She's incredible in everything she's in. So but again, it's arguable, right? But again, she's supporting. So like, that's the one she's nominated for. I think that's what she gets.
She got a Golden Globe.
How do you feel?
Golden Globe. Yeah.
And I guess we can say yes for Angus, because we don't know what else he's in.
I have never seen this kid before.
Maybe Golden Globe for Priscilla. Yeah.
Also,
he's great. I want to see other stuff he's in.
The thing is, it's not that he crushed this. We won't know until I watch him do anything else, because he could be the exact same person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We don't really know.
Yeah. That's the caveat. We can just say up until now, we'll give you a good, but he's got all this stuff ahead of him, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The other 2 have some chops. And they're arguably still there. So like, that makes for a good movie. I think, when the 3 people. BM, do you agree? Like, that's kind of the take.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that.
Oh, she was in Idol.
All right.
Interesting.
What about? Interesting.
Yes, I know about that.
Do you guys think, either one of you think, any of the 5 awards? So we have editing, the supporting role, actor. What were the other 2? They're right here at the beginning.
Cinematography,
best actor, supporting actress, best screenplay. And best picture. Do we think it wins any of those 5? What do you got?
Let me see. What else was nominated for best screenplay?
Yeah, it's helpful to put it up against other things.
Past Lives, Maestro, and Anatomy of a Fall, May.
That's a very good point. Probably should put that in there.
I'm gonna go Holdovers. We watched Maestro. It was a hot garbage.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
It
heard
was-
very mixed stuff. Most people were like, "It's not good.
not-
It's overdone. It's over the top."
It's ridiculous.
Wow.
But,
Bradley Cooper also directed it.
yeah, he was trying
So-
really hard. No,
Was he
I've
also
heard-
in it?
I've heard he's not taking not
I think if
winning awards very well right now
Yeah.
either.
I think if
yikes.
it wins anything,
He's
it's
being a
gonna win screenplay.
Dick about it. So
I think it'll win screenplay.
Okay. I
I agree too. That's probably the best shot.
screenplay. I gotta
Yeah.
see.
What about you, P?
All right, let me see who's in for best supporting.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna get best supporting actress. Because I forgot who else is on it.
Is
but
it- Is it for actor versus actress? Is that they make that distinction?
I think they're gonna give it to Barbie.
Yeah, they do for the
Best supporting actress.
America.
Yeah, I think they're gonna give it to her.
Oh, yeah,
I think
Oppenheimer.
America wins that. Yeah.
Oh, America Ferrera. Yeah. Oh man,
Yeah, she's gonna win it.
Best film.
I
editing.
just
God, she's so good though.
I loved. I just
mean-
loved her performance in this. I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I would give it to her. I'd give her the
I would give it
Academy
to her
award.
too.
But yeah.
Yeah.
America Ferrera in Barbie, super freaking good. Super. I haven't seen.
She was too. Honestly, I would just flip a coin. I'd flip a coin for it because they're
Yeah.
both great. Like I can't really. Unfortunately, Giamatti's not going to win
No,
for
it's
best
gonna
actor.
be
Yeah,
even though
that is too
he
bad.
should be considered. It's gonna be Killian. I think best film editing is probably also going to be Oppenheimer,
Probably.
Um,
Yes.
I think best film's gonna be
And-
Oppenheimer.
and best pictures.
You think so?
and
Best picture?
Best picture is going to be
Yeah,
Oppenheimer.
I think it's gonna be
It will
Oppenheimer.
be. It will.
I still haven't seen it.
There's just so
It's so
much,
good.
and it's so also like
Yeah.
it's like 3 movies, and they're all good.
Is it
So-
really?
It's so
I-
good. Although I will say,
it's-
speaking of those,
Have you seen it?
No.
No, he said he hasn't.
No.
Ooh.
The one you should watch
Do
next
it.
is Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh yes.
But if
Also
you're
wanna
gonna
see
watch
that.
it,
Oh no.
get ready for like 3.5 hours. Like take your time. Take your time.
It's
Yeah.
long.
Jeez.
It's long.
Okay.
Watch it in 2 sittings. And it gets there's a little bit of like monotony in the
Yeah.
middle. But what's her name?
Yeah.
What's
I don't think she was nominated for best. No, she was nominated
Emily
for best
Blunt?
actress.
Emily Blunt was nominated.
she's
no,
nominated for no.
no, she
best
wasn't.
lead
Lily
actress.
Gladstone.
She's gonna win that.
Lily Gladstone.
Lily
Yeah,
Gladstone.
she'll
Dude,
win that.
she's gonna win
Oh.
it like easy. And she's also the first Native American
Yeah,
woman
they're gonna
ever
give it to her.
nominated. So and
Lily
but she was incredible.
Oh, was
She's
she
incredible.
good?
She actually dominates that movie. She dominates it.
Wow.
A movie with Leo and Robert De Niro in it. She dominates.
Dang.
I thought so.
I got some movies to
Yeah,
watch.
that's
man.
another one. Like she'll blow your like. You'll be like, dude, she is so good. Holy, like it's. I was kind of watching
Wow.
kind of off the side.
Mhm.
I was like, no, I got to pay attention. I got to pay attention.
I
She's-
gotta
she's
give this by
crushing it,
full.
so. Awesome. Okay, let's wrap this thing up because we went long because we always do. Ratings. What do we got? What do we got for our final ratings? I'll just quickly throw mine out. I given it a 9.1, thinking along the lines of IMDb. It needs to be better than that. I give it a 9.1. This is a rewatch for me. I'm gonna watch it probably every year or two.
Mhm.
I really like it. I really liked it.
I'm gonna give this
It's
one
necessary.
I'm gonna give this one an 8.7. Really good. The only thing, and I don't know how to really adjust this because I feel like every scene was really good. It was a little bit long. I don't know that it needed to take as much time as it did to tell the story, but it was very good, enjoyable, and I mean, I was all verklempt by the end of it. So, I very good movie.
Ooh. Great word there.
Thank you. A little Yiddish.
8 out of 10.
Ooh, yeah, you got the in. That's cheating.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10 flat.
Really?
8, 10.
8 10. I think it's good. I'm probably not going to rewatch it, but I think it's good.
PM's like, I loved it. It's no Friday Night Lights, but it's
Yeah.
close. It's close.
I don't think it's a rewatchable movie.
Now, if this happened at Permian High School,
Yeah,
then we're
yeah,
good.
Yeah,
Like, we would've
if
said,
Booby
but-
was in it,
Yeah.
You'd
If
be
there
all
was
about it.
some hints of subtle racism in there through, then you might get me in there. That's all I'm saying. But it's
some subtle racism and some not so subtle
Yeah.
racism.
Yeah.
some old guys yelling and trying to hit
Ah.
up 17-year-olds. There we go.
That's my bag. Nice.
No, I mean, I think
Right.
it was
Yeah, we need
good.
another one of those.
I just don't think it's a rewatchable movie. Like, I don't know. I'm so difficult with rewatching movies in the anyways.
Yeah, we know.
It's
Lord of the Rings.
So,
We're aware.
well, yeah, I'm giving up on
You're
that. So.
difficult.
I mean, I get it. There's a lot of people that don't just like go back to the same movies. And honestly,
Yeah.
I'm not a huge on that either. So like for me to want to rewatch it is a very high rating. That's why I gave it one. So the fact I go, do I want to rewatch this at some point? I'm like, yeah, I definitely do. It's getting a high rating now. That's like a part of my criteria, I guess. So
Fair enough.
awesome, dude. Well, great freaking choice, guys. I love Oscar movie night. That was really great. And I have an announcement that I haven't told you yet for next week's movie and guest. We have a guest coming on the show next week. Our friend Darkness 429 will be joining the show. We know what movies he likes. And you know what he chose?
What did he choose?
Back to the Future.
That's a good one.
Gosh.
So
outstanding.
Oh, it's gonna be us, slobbering over some stuff and then us making fun of some stuff because there are some holes in that movie.
Did the theme music
And I
immediately
can't
play
wait
in
to
your brain?
just-
Because it played in mine.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yes.
The moment you said it.
I cannot wait to revisit that. That is so Darkness. I cannot wait to try to keep that under an hour and 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Because
I'll make sure of it.
remember our original episode with him is very long. So we will try to get to the point with that one.
Oh, yeah.
But that's our show next week. So thank you guys for being here for the show. Please like the video if you're on YouTube, please. Please do it, please. And give us 5 stars anywhere else. Spotify, Audacity. We're on Audacity, iHeartRadio. We're on the Samsung podcast network because they have one for some reason.
All right.
But we're on it. If you have one of those phones, if you're an Android user, weirdo, you can still listen to us. We're there. This has been the Making an Action podcast. We will see you next week for some future, but in the past. See ya.